Folks, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and guessing that if you're here, your notification squad. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be getting started here shortly. The little heirs, I think, want to say hi and good night all at the same time, so hold tight here. I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to look like even frumpier than usual because we just got off the lake. We had the kayaks out, went kayaking. Side. Here. You have to get up kind of behind me, bud. I can see you on the camera. Look up here. Say hi.
Hi.
Tell them what you did.
I went kayaking on the lake with my red kayak.
Oh, okay. Right, night, buddy. Where's your brother? Night, mister. Alright. Alright, there we go. So they wanted to say hi. Yeah, so I've still got my shirt on from fishing. It's like a loose-fitting, reflective shirt that keeps the sun on me. The littler one hasn't come through yet, but I'm sure he'll be here in a minute, Appius. But anyway, I figured what would be fun tonight is we got to have a bit of a reveal with Warhammer 3, huh? Which hopefully was exciting for folks. I think I saw a lot of opinions floating around in terms of what we saw. And show me your robot. Right, you gotta look at the camera right there. Hold it up to the camera where they can see it. Show me your robot. Yeah, there you go. Littlest Air wants to show you the robot stickers he did. Hey, good job, bud.
Goodbye.
Let's go hop in bed. All right, there we go. Yep, there you go. You've seen both of them. So we were wanting to do. I was wanting to do a discussion tonight. We can kind of talk Warhammer 3. I wish I could play Warhammer 3 again. I mean, it's always fortunate when you get to play a game early. And of course, it's always a, like, grass is greener on the other side, right? I think I'm so ready for something new in Warhammer that I'm extremely hyped for Warhammer 3. And when I played it, you know, I've played Warhammer 2, which is a fantastic Total War title. In my opinion, Warhammer 2 is the best Total War title out there. Just all around, if I had to rank it. And, you know what? Do I want to fight Chaos with 1,000 Maws? Or do we do Sylvania? Oh, I think I'm going to do 1,000 Maws. We'll go fight some Chaos with these guys since we're talking Chaos because of Warhammer 3. But anyway, I was very impressed with what I played for Warhammer 3. Now that I can share opinions and stuff with you all, it's frustrating because I think you all knew that content was coming, but I couldn't say anything until it actually releases and is no longer behind a NDA. So, yeah, I was extremely impressed with what I played, and I'm very excited for it, and I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think they should be doing with it. I have no idea whether that's what they're doing with it. I did not sit around and interview a developer. Some of the creators did an interview with the developers. I did not. I didn't have time, really, and I just wanted to focus on the battle. My channel is not really all about, like, hopefully you all have recognized the way my channel works. For instance, like, I put up a video that's like, here's my gameplay, here's what I thought of it, and a basic rundown of what the battle was. There was other channels, like I noticed that Turin, for instance, had a little more, like, he took the time, he wants to look at the detailed information and abilities and stuff like that. That stuff's interesting to me. I like to learn about it, but at this point with the game being so early on, all I want to do is play it, and I want to see how I feel when I play it, right? I'm not ready to dig into the details yet. I just want to get in and find out, is the game fun? Does it feel like an improvement over what I had? And I was really curious whenever they told us we were going to get to play it early. We obviously didn't know about the fact that it was going to be a survival battle, and so when I was pleasantly surprised when they introduced it, and I was like, oh wow, a new battle type. And it had all this different stuff in it. And on the first run through, it was completely overwhelming. Like, it was completely overwhelming. I just about lost the battle. I mean, I pulled it off. Like, I had one unit left, and it just barely routed that exalted bloodthirster. Like, and I mean barely. My towers helped rout it. If I hadn't had the towers, I would have lost. It was very, very close because there was a lot going on. Like, I had to control all those reinforcements, be deciding. I didn't know how to use all the stuff yet, and you're getting berserked by Khorne. And the troops for Khorne, you all saw me play against them on that third battle, and you might be thinking like, oh, look, the AI sucks. I mean, I don't know that the AI was doing anything like wildly more impressive or different than other AIs, but I made the Khorne troops look a lot less dangerous than they were because I learned how to destroy them in mass with Streltsy and magic. You're meleeing those Khorne guys, you're gonna have issues. Like, they chew on you in melee. It isn't pretty. Like, they chew you up in melee. So they're gonna be an interesting faction. It's gonna be interesting. I think they're gonna be a very, very good melee faction. So, David's asking me a question already. I'll try and get to questions here. He says, how many factions will there be in Warhammer 3? I believe, as far as we know, there's 6 at launch. If I'm getting this wrong, I apologize. I'm not an official CA source, but I think you have Kislev, Grand Cathay, and then the 4 flavors of chaos related to each chaos god. I think it's Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Tzeentch. So you're going to have one for each of the chaos gods.
Satisfy your bloodlust, minions.
I believe that is the launch factions. They did mention today that if you pre-order the game, that and usually what they do is if it's a pre-order, but then they usually allow you to wait until the game is out even, and then if you buy the game in a certain time period, you get like a launch faction. It sounded like that's what they're going to be doing. They didn't specifically say anything about doing it afterwards. They said pre-order, but in times past, they usually allowed you to get it after the game come out. So I think there is some kind of, I'm gonna air quote it, pre-order faction, because again, you may be able to buy it after the game comes out if they keep to their tradition. So yeah, they're gonna have that, and that. So I guess 7 maybe, unless that's, I don't know. It's gonna be a lot. They have said specifically that there's gonna be more factions at the launch of this game than there is other Warhammer games. They did specifically mention that. So that's exciting, that there's going to be quite a few factions right off the bat. So I think it's going to be good. The gameplay was good. The game looked beautiful. Like, they had definitely made some improvements to graphical quality and fidelity. Like, it looked beautiful. The lighting, like when things were exploding, the sounds felt good, just like they do in Warhammer 2. I've always felt like the sound in Warhammer 2 is very good. I thought the sound was still right up there. And then, but the lighting and stuff, I noticed when the towers were shooting their stuff and it was exploding, it looked great. And then some people ask me, like, Air, how did it perform? Do you have any idea how the game's going to perform? I don't. The way we did this, typically speaking in the past, when we would do an event where you got to play something early, before it could go on, like, because sometimes when you play content early, they give it to you through Steam. But this game is so pre-release that it's just not feasible for them to put a build out there on Steam, plus there's a risk of it leaking and all that other stuff, so they didn't want to do any of that. So what we had to do was connect through a software service that's basically like a streaming platform, right? I don't know if you all have ever streamed games from like your main PC over to like, you know, a smaller computer in the living room or something like that. That's kind of what it was. We were streaming from another PC, like, so I connected to a PC that was like somewhere out in New Jersey or something where they had it set up, and I streamed to it from there. And it was beautiful, even though I was streaming it, right? So I knew the graphic quality was actually, what you all saw in the video was captured directly, locally, on the machine that I was playing. What I was seeing was over the stream, right? So there is a bitrate issue there sometimes, and even what I was seeing over the screen looked very good. And so it made me very excited, because I feel like that this game is gonna look fantastic.
Draw your blades.
As far as how it's gonna run frame rate wise, I have no idea. There was no frame rate counter, there was no graphics settings for me to look at. I have no idea, like when I was in person, you know, before I would look inside the machine to see what kind of hardware it was running. I have no idea what kind of hardware this machine runs, and CA, of course, is not putting any of that out there in front of us yet, because we're still a long ways from launch. So my hope is this, though. I got a graphics card within the last 3 or 4 months. I know I was one of the lucky ones. I literally got lucky and got it in Newegg's like lottery system. The graphics card was 30% stronger than my old one. On Warhammer 2, I only got a 9% frame rate boost with a 30% stronger graphics card. That's terrible. That means that this game is bottlenecked somewhere on the processor or in the game engine itself. I don't know which one, but that's a terrible improvement for having such a better graphics card. However, that same graphics card, when I fired up Three Kingdoms and ran the benchmark, I got 30% better performance with a 30% better graphics card, meaning that Three Kingdoms is obviously, you know, optimized a lot better to, you know, go higher with better stuff there, so it wasn't being limited by the engine or a processor. It was clearly being limited by the graphics card, which is kind of what you want. At least in my opinion, that's what you want in a game. So I don't know. Hopefully the new Warhammer is kind of like that. That's what I'm hoping. Like, I hope that, although it'll be very similar in a lot of ways to Warhammer 2, I'm hoping that good hardware makes a big difference. But I've noticed with Three Kingdoms that even if you don't have like the highest, most top-notch hardware, it runs pretty good. Like, it's not bad, you know what I mean? And so I remember I had a setup that I built with the an RTX 2060 and like a Ryzen 5 3600, and it was running Three Kingdoms very nicely. And it was a little bit smoother frame rate. And then like Troy, it was running overall at better, like smoother frame rates, even in the battles. So again, I'm hopeful that this new game will behave that way too. But again, I don't know. I didn't get to run it on a machine where I could check any of that. So sorry, I don't know the answer to that. Gigastrike says, what wound system? I actually didn't even notice the wound system. It was mentioned to me in my chat earlier. It wasn't brought up by CA, and of course we weren't playing anything in campaign, so they didn't explain any of this stuff to us that I had. If there is a wound system, it's probably because someone was looking at the unit cards and see like these abilities down here. I'll bet it was down here, would be my guess as to how they saw it. I think it was Turin, if I remember right. Someone linked it in my chat. But a wound system for single entities is actually a really big deal and would be a really pleasant change to the game. Personally, I haven't been like severely blown out over single entities. Like I'm okay with them, but it would certainly be more fair if in the game they suffered more combat penalty when they're taking damage. And the reason being is, like, let's say for instance I got this Bleak Sword unit. When it's at 100% of its units, it's going to perform a certain way. And whenever it drops below 100% of its units, it starts to lose combat efficiency because it's lost men that are fighting in the unit, or women, I guess. If you're High Elves, you never know which one you got, but you all know what I mean. It's lost troops, and when you lose troops, your unit becomes less effective, and so the more it gets beat up, the less it can do. So the wound system is obviously a way to take combat effectiveness out of a single entity as it gets damaged, and that's a good thing. You know, every other unit in the game behaves that way, and you might as well have single entities behave that way. So I think it's a very good thing if they've added it again. I didn't get to see it. I don't know exactly how it works. I think Turin had seen it and talked about it. If anybody knows that for sure, they can confirm. And if so, it was a great catch on his part. And it is interesting news, I think, that people should be happy about. At least in my opinion. I think it's very positive news. Even though it was something that I wasn't just, like, clamoring for, I think it's a good thing for the game in the long run. What would be really good is if, as a part of all that... Oh my goodness, they got a flame cannon back here. If, as a part of that... Oh man, they ripped right through the middle of me. They would also... Crap. Not what I want, not what I want. I wish that as a part of that system... Crap, man. You guys just shredded me. Gotta get some reinforcements up here. Run, Warner! Kill that flame cannon. I've got a freaking undead dwarf chasing me down over here. We could lose the battle because of these undead Dawi. Longbeards. Longbeards are going to be harder than crap to route right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of undead Dawi running around, and they are going to be difficult to kill. Let's see if we can strike him with something. A little magic for his trouble. Start pasting as much of this Dawi infantry as I can, or else we won't have a chance. I was trying to drop a magic attack on those Dawi, and it ended up damaging me, probably worse than them. It was not what I had desired. What happened to my... Oh, I ran my cavalry in here. I need to kill that other artillery piece. Come on, finish that stuff up. I really don't want Warner fighting that stuff. We can get some shots into King Lun Iron Hammer here. Of course, our Dark Riders couldn't cut through these Dawi skirmishers. They're too heavily armored. Too heavily armored. A little bit of damage into King Lun. Warner, run! Wonder if Warner's faster than these guys. I don't know the answer. Kill him. Kill this stuff, please. The warriors, like all this stuff's gonna be very, very hard to route because it's gonna be basically immune to psychology, or I say basically, it's going to be immune to psychology. Trying to get Warner out of here. I don't know if he's faster than the Dawi or not. Well, look at this. One Longbeard came forward to fight, and he's still kicking. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna get Warner out of here. Fall back. We gotta kite King Lun here if we want to have a chance of pulling this off. We got some Longbeards over here. We need to paste as much of this infantry as we can. Yeah, I'm just gonna let my missile units do that. Warner, just stay alive, bro. Let's get that's back down here. Start putting some bolts into our other ethereal dwarf. It's gonna be very hard to hit them with any of my magic damage from the Black Arc, just because they're a very small target. Go ahead and run. Run, run, run. But we've almost killed King Lun Ironhammer. That's a big deal. Getting rid of him will be a big benefit. I'm gonna try and get those guns. Oh, he's so close to dead. Just be dead.
Moving out. Battle ready.
Over here. How we doing? How we doing?
Corsairs. Bloody murder. Advancing. Battle ready. Glorious destruction.
Send these guys over here to fight the Longbeards.
Terror and death. Slay them.
Alright, one of my units ran out of ammo, so I'm gonna go sling it into melee against the Longbeards, and we're gonna just avoid that ethereal dude as much as we can. Alright, King Lun's only got 158 hit points. Like, if we could kill him, that'd be great. I'm gonna keep kiting with Warner. It's gonna be very difficult to route these units. Yeah, the ethereal units are absolute mess to route. Down to 86 hit points. Stay away, Dark Shards. I just need you all to get one more shot, maybe? Alright, give me just a second. I'm kind of all over the place now, and I need to make sure I keep up with what's going on. Like right here, I got caught in melee with the Dark Shards. I can't allow that. Now, Shades with Great Weapon. Are those dual swords or Great Weapon? Great Swords, good. Okay, there goes King Lun. Start kiting this infantry a little. Now let's get rid of this other ethereal. There's another ethereal over here. Gonna be very difficult to kill those. Oh, he stands still though, because he's an engineer, so let's see if we can get lucky. He's standing still shooting. Okay. Got a little damage done. Let's keep Warner on the move. We've about gotten rid of some of those Longbeards over there. I'm gonna try and get that warrior with Great Weapon. Melee this unit real quick. We did almost no damage to that engineer. We just keep the Belagar Ironhammer kiting. I think it was Belagar we had to beat before, if I remember right. I'm gonna ignore that engineer for a minute. Gosh darn it. I'm losing a bunch of troops over here. Just ignore that other ethereal idiot for a minute. I don't know if we're gonna have enough ammo left is my concern. I don't think I'm missing any more units. Warner is trash. We don't have any magic damage to our name. Longbeards fight to the death. It's an absolute mess. Okay. Like, look at this over here. Shades with great swords, 2 Blackheart Corsairs. We're struggling to cut through the Longbeards. They have 170 kills and climbing. I've got a lot of ammo left with Warner. It's going to be somewhat difficult to use. Take a shot at him. Use those last bolts. I'm gonna try and avoid melee for as long as I can, because I want to make sure the power bar doesn't sour on me. And to keep as many troops alive as possible, like, even though I can't do much with these troops, having them alive is better than being dead. Got Warner getting some shots on Belagar. Start to pick away at his health. Oh yeah, we got some real nice damage done to Hammer Fist. Got lucky there. We got a nice shot. I'm gonna stay away from him so that he'll hopefully... I'm gonna go fight Belagar with guys. Yeah, we got a little more damage done. Good. It's not spectacular, but hey, we will take every last bit of it. Straight to the bank. Actually, don't fight Belagar yet. Let's keep kiting him a little. Oh, he moved. Sucks. I've got more shades with great swords. We can try and pincer Belagar with a bunch of shades. And Warner's still got ammo. We're gonna shoot Belagar once. Let's use this ability here. It worked really good on him last time. Run, Warner! Run! 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 Oh, that is not good. Run! 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 Oh, he's almost dead. He's only got 39 hit points. Put some shots on him. Alright, I've got some more shades with great swords coming up. Belagar, though, he is a tank of a unit. He is going to be a mess to kill. Hammer Fist only has 22 hit points. I'm out of ammo on all but like one unit. Got a little more ammo over here. I could probably shoot him with Warner and kill him. We gotta go overwhelm Belagar up here. We might be able to do this. Oh, Warner missed him. And I've got kind of a chain route going up here. We did a lot of damage to Belagar, but we've lost most of our shades with great swords. Kill him! Goodness sakes. Now shoot this guy. Got some of those warriors. We are just not getting any damage done versus Belagar because I've lost all my great swords.
Advance, Druki! Dark shards! Cruel and deadly!
Kill him, Warner.
Moving out! Forward! Carnage awaits! Withdraw!
Alright, these guys aren't routing.
Battle ready!
Shoot him! I need to just keep some troops alive so that we don't get the power bar too screwed up.
Feared by all!
I'm gonna move down here with Warner.
Dark shards!
I'm gonna put a shot here.
Tyrant!
Still so many hit points left in that ethereal unit.
Forward!
And Belagar, I don't think I have enough ammo. If I could get the ethereal unit to stand still, I ran out of this Bolt of Spite. The Bolt of Spite is easy to hit him with. These other ones, he has to be standing still. I can only guess. Like, I don't know. Just see if we get lucky.
Dark shards! Forward!
Yeah, it didn't even go off.
Druki, forward!
No, he turned. Crap.
Marche! Leave! Cold-blooded killers!
Run away, run away. No, 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 run, 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 run.
I go forth!
Run!
On. Striking out! To destruction!
More damage done there.
Advancing!
Wish I hadn't let Warner get so beat up so early.
Dreadlord! Moving out!
I'd have to save Warner by sacrificing a crossbow unit to slow this idiot down.
Advance, Druki! Tyrant of Nagorod! Show no mercy! Dark shards! Attack!
Down to 573, but like I said, I don't think I have the ammo left for this. We just took him under 500.
The merciless host!
Got Belagar chasing stuff. If I could just like get him to sit still, I could do a ton of damage to him with one of my bombardments, but there's no way I'm gonna hit him with any of these bombardments. It's like a total guessing game. Yeah, see, he moved. No, I wish I could cancel. I could cycle him.
We are ready!
These Dark Shards have ammo, I can't sacrifice him. Oh, I'm gonna end up wasting that. Shoot. Shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't know if we can do this. I would like to save Warner here. I think they all die too because I have them in a settlement, and this Warner is a very high Dreadlord, like very high rank. And a 381. I just don't think we have enough ammo left, like even with what Warner's got on him.
Murder awaits. I go full. Onwards to murder. Battle ready.
I wonder if I can like fix him with this tiny unit of crossbows. Go for this one. They're not gonna last long. I don't think this is gonna work. Come on, turn around, stop. Just for a second. Stop just long enough for this to go off.
Blood-drenched lord.
Hit him. Hit him.
Nagarothi. Murder
Oh, he moved before it would land. Dadgummit.
advance.
Why does it take like 50 million? Ah!
Dreadlord.
Hate how long it takes for that stuff to spin up.
Die, weaklings.
Do I win if the time runs out? We'll draw if the time runs out. I might be able to cheese him. Might be able to cheese him. I'll do whatever I have to save Admiral Warner. Speaking of, he's getting caught here. How is a stinking Dawe faster than us? He is, though. He's got one more speed point than we do.
Striking out.
I'm gonna run away with Admiral Warner and these other units, and I might just try and draw kite him.
Dreadlord.
350.
Glorious carnage. Dark shine.
Shoot him, Warner.
Dreadlord.
Never mind. Run, Warner.
Marching.
He is, like,
Tyrant.
what is up with our movement speed here?
Murder.
We're dead.
Move.
I can't run away.
Back.
He wouldn't run away. There was only 1 point of movement difference between us, but he wouldn't run away. Do ethereal units have stamina? Anybody know that? We need a magic crossbow on Warner because we keep running into these. I already killed these guys. I thought once these guys died in campaign, are they legendary? Do they come back? 'Cause we already killed them once. Do those Dawi heroes come back? Heh. They're Harpy army.
Satisfy your bloodlust, minions.
Really?
Tear flesh
Leave
from
my harpies
bone.
out of it. Winston the Squig Whisperer is gone too. Never mind the crossbow, give me a handgun. I wish. Army lost. Retreats. Battle. We lost Winston the Squig Whisperer. Anyway, let's talk some more Warhammer. What all do you want to talk about with Warhammer 3 right now? Throw me some topics in the chat here. Let's talk through something. Now that I'm out of that battle where I was trying to kite Warner to the ends of the earth. I need to fix the campaign balancing for Total War Warhammer 3. Total War Warhammer 2 is way too easy. E.g. single entity units and heroes are way overpowered. Well, so I'll say this to that, John Wallace. They have the wound system that we saw for the single entities, so I think it'll bring them into better balance, but like, leaders are overpowered? Yes. Yeah, they are. And as far as campaign balancing goes, how do you balance the campaign? Like, someone always will know how to cheese it. I think you can do some things that'll make it better. Like, you can put unit caps in armies to keep people from doom stacking, but then that pisses people off because it's like, hey, don't mess with my campaign, just let me play. And I understand that and kind of agree with him. So what I would say to that is they just need to put options in there. I don't think leaders are OP. I think leaders by nature are OP, so I wouldn't define them as OP because they're doing what they're supposed to. They're supposed to be incredibly strong. This game revolves around the leaders being incredibly strong. I think if anything, you make heavy infantry a little more viable. Outside of that, like, I think the leaders are probably pretty much where they need to be. And as far as balancing campaign goes, I don't know that there is a way to balance it, but you can certainly add options where if people want to, they can turn on unit caps, and then they can't do doom stacks. You know what I mean? That's one way you could help with some of it, if I had to just take a guess at it. Is the new mode outside of campaign, or will those battles come into campaign too? The survival battle is, as far as I understood what they said during the event, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that the survival battles are a part of the campaign. Kind of like a quest battle in some ways. Like, I think it's a part of the campaign.
Executioners!
If I understood it right. The wound system, I haven't gotten a chance to see it in detail. People were just talking about it on my Discord because I think they had seen it in Turin's video, maybe someone else's video. But it would basically mean that single entities start to lose some of their combat stats. So, like, for instance, this Rakarth on the dragon, no matter how damaged he is, he will have 725 weapon strength and the same melee attack all the way until he's dead. Versus this unit of Blackguard starts off with 100 little entities that have this stat. And as they die, the Blackguard loses men that can hit these, you know, attacks and stuff. And so it becomes less combat efficient. So it's kind of a way of making the single entity models come into line with the normal models in terms of, like, how they balance in. So that's what it sounds like the wound system would be trying to accomplish. And again, I think that sounds like a good idea. It balances in single entities without just, like, going with a nerf bat across the line and nerfing them all into oblivion like we sometimes see CA do when people ask them to nerf something. So I'm always hesitant to ask CA to nerf something, because when they hit stuff with the nerf bat, they hit it hard. They hit it hard. Wound system sounds awesome. I think it does too. I think it's a good idea. Like I said, I haven't seen it for myself. I'm only assuming it's in the game because that's what people in my Discord told me, because they had seen it in another video, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'm pretty sure it's there. I don't think the folks in my Discord would just be, like, lying, or that some other YouTuber would just be straight up lying. So that's why I'm making the assumption that it is what it is. Right, down the gyros. Chilla Sontar just smashed that dwarf warrior. Boy, these guys got lightning struck. Lightning struck, and it didn't feel good. Use the breath attack on my Charybdis. I haven't done any of this yet. This is a special thing that comes with just Rakarth. Do it, Charybdis. Never used it. That's great. That's something they need to fix. That happens to me way too often with these abilities. Let's chase these guys down. Chopping animals' legs off is less of a threat. Yeah, a wound system doesn't even have to go that into depth, even though that would be cool, right? Like, you've injured its leg, it slows down. They could put something like that in. It's kind of like a dice roll. You know, kind of like you play Battlefleet Gothic in the game, and your ship might, you know, you might take a hit to your engines or something like that. They could do something like that, but I think it's going to be simpler in the sense that it's like hit points below X%, X penalty on certain stats, right? I think that's the way it's going to work to represent the wounds, because it's a very simple system. However, some kind of wound system, you know, like the animal gets hit in the legs, that'd be cool, but it'd probably require, like, a pretty in-depth bit of trickiness to it. Clone Trooper. What? You're far too kind, sir. Thank you for the 20. Says, oh boy, live stream. Here you go. Thank you, Clone Trooper. Did you get to see the end of the Rebel live stream we did for you, Clone Trooper? It was Moncal cruisers and X-wings coming out your eyeballs. So I hope that that accomplished what you want to, and then I will be working on a studio tour video for you soon. I was kind of busy getting the Warhammer 3 footage all fixed up and ready to go, so I hadn't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I'll get it done for you, Clone Trooper. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for being here tonight. What other Warhammer 3 stuff should we talk about? Throw me some more discussion topics we want to hit here. There we go. Was the build intentionally made easier for journalists? I felt like that some of the Khorne units felt really easy. Maybe Streltsy are really that powerful, though. If you're watching my video, yeah, I don't know whether they made it easier for journalists. I heard a lot of the journalists losing or having a really hard time winning, to be honest. There's always a big difference between the journalists, of course, and then like the content creators like myself who go play it, because obviously we're a lot more familiar with the game than they are, and a journalist is probably going to have a hard time with it unless they're a hardcore Total War player outside of their job. But the... did they make it easier? Part of the reason my Streltsy were owning those Warriors of Khorne so early on, like the demons, is because they have no armor. And they're walking right into a freaking murder hole, essentially, right? I bottled them right into the massed fire of 3 Streltsy, and they were being hit by a tower that was doing damage and slowing them down. So don't underestimate, I think, that like the bloodletters and stuff that you saw rolling up, they're kind of like a glass cannon type of unit.
Send them to slave.
They cause a ton of damage, and they're good on a charge, and they're normally like not bad speed and stuff. But remember that my tower was debuffing them, and I was shooting the snot out of them with the Streltsy. So I wouldn't think too little of the Khorne troops just because of what you see. Remember, they're controlled by AI, and I have, like, between Warhammer 1 and 2, I have probably almost 4,000 hours of time in Warhammer, so it's easy for me to beat the AI most of the time, unless I'm at some kind of big disadvantage or something. So that's... I wouldn't think too little of the Khorne review, or of the Khorne units. Nick Lou says, I heard in an interview that they have... that they did decrease the difficulty so that the press have a chance. I guess they just decrease HP and such. It could be, Nick. So if you heard it in the interview that they said it, then, I don't know why those people would be lying. I did not ask such things, so I don't know. I know that the battle, for me, it wasn't like super hard the first time, but I didn't play it very efficient, and so I almost lost. Like, I was doing pretty fine, and then when I got to wave 3 in the boss wave, I started getting my butt kicked, even with all the units. So again, the troops, the Khorne troops, they can kick the poo out of you in melee. The key is you don't want to sit around in a melee with them. So, but if they did make it easier for the game journalist, I wouldn't be shocked. And I would think that most of the journalists probably still had a hard time with that battle because it was a lot to control all at once. Like I said, I'm a veteran at Total War, and there was a lot to control all at once. It was many things happening.
Supreme Sorceress of Grant.
Many things happening.
Be ready. Travel.
Let's see. Let's look for some more questions here. When is Warhammer 3 expected to launch? It's supposed to launch this year. I don't know exactly what time. I just keep telling myself basically at the end of the year. That way I won't be disappointed if it comes at the end of the year. And if it comes earlier than that, then I will be happy. So I don't know the date. And I don't remember them talking about that in any of our sessions either. Hey, what was your favorite Kislev unit? Mine was Ice Guard. Ice Guard was a really cool unit. They were a dual-purpose unit with range, and then, of course, I think they fought with, like, a glaive in melee, so they were certainly a nice unit. My favorite unit from Kislev was easily the Streltsy. They were, like, a pretty solid gun unit that doubled as kind of like a marauder with great weapon in melee, is kind of the way I would think of it. They were a great dual-purpose unit, because they have the big axe on the butt end of their guns, and so they did really nice melee damage for a missile unit. So Streltsy were easily my favorite unit. Probably followed up closely by the Winged Hussars. The Winged Hussars weren't great in a prolonged melee, but they freaking owned infantry on the charge. They hit infantry like a truck.
From bone. Bring a stampede.
So I liked those two units. How will the survival battles be incorporated into campaign? I don't know all the details because we didn't get to see any campaign maps or campaign gameplay. They didn't reveal anything campaign-wise to us. I believe all they mentioned was that they were a part of the campaign because in the campaign you're being driven to quest into the realms of chaos, and so the survival battle is representative of kind of what you have to do as part of it. I think it's about all we know. If someone got more out of them in an interview, someone please state it in the chat, but that's about all I know about it, is that as part of the campaign in Warhammer 3, you're going to be driven into these places, and as you do, you're going to end up fighting these survival battles. Well, fortunately, Admiral Warner is alive. It no longer, how come it no longer tells me how long until he convalesces when I mouse over the skull? I could have sworn it used to tell us that. I don't know. But Sage of Calvador, thanks for joining, says thanks for letting me hang out. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It was great to have you here. I'm going to keep looking for Warhammer 3 questions and discussion over here in the chat as best I can. You know if the Warriors of Chaos faction will disappear into the 4 new Chaos factions? I don't know. They haven't said that yet. My guess is no. I don't know the lore really well around all the Chaos stuff, but I know Pilgrim was talking about it earlier. He was thinking that they would kind of be like the Chaos Undivided faction, and then you would have your 4 different Chaos factions. So my guess is that they will probably stay, and that these 4 other factions kind of just add variety. But again, that's a guess. I haven't heard anything directly on that. Does it feel any different than the past Warhammer games? Well, it controls very familiar. And the UI was similar, albeit I think the UI was a little cleaner and nicer in this one. Not that I really have any major complaints about the UI here, but it felt like when I was playing it, the fact that I'm so familiar with playing Warhammer 2, I was able to just jump right in and start playing Warhammer 3. It was, if you're skilled at this game, it'll be good practice, I think, for getting ready for Warhammer 3. It didn't feel like a whole new control scheme or anything else like that. It was very familiar, okay, I know this unit has AP range, this is a defensive infantry unit, this is a spear infantry, it was pretty straightforward. It was fairly easy to comprehend since we had so much time with Warhammer 2. The only big difference was that the lore of ice was so new, and I was trying to get used to what it could do. Did they add Beast to Keeper of Secrets? Hang on, did they add Press to Keeper of Secrets? I have no idea. I wasn't looking for any chests in it. Good question. Which of the new units did you find underwhelming or needs tweaking? No idea, Great Tiger. It would be way too early for me to be able to say whether a unit was underwhelming or whether it needs any tweaking. I think it'd be way too early for me to speculate on that. This is weird, out of the blue, just getting attacked with Regina here, and she's gonna be tired too because I had her in a force march. That sucks.
May their deaths be slow.
How awesome is Bear Cavalry? Quite, Jacob. It's pretty good. I don't remember looking at the unit card on it though, to be honest. I was so busy just trying to win the battle. I don't even remember looking. Did anybody see the unit card on the Polar Bears? I'm assuming they're probably AP or anti-large. I don't know. Probably at least AP. Usually that type of cavalry is the monstrous cavalry. They were pretty strong though. How was the performance on my PC? It wasn't on my PC, Tanobi. I played it via a stream service. It was on a PC somewhere on the East Coast, so I have no idea what the performance was like. Didn't get to see any graphics settings. It was played in 1920 by 1080. That's all I know. I never felt like I was having any performance issues while I was playing it, and that was over the stream. So hopefully that's a good sign. And if I had to venture a guess, the PC that I have is probably better than whatever one they were streaming it from. It's not a lot of and I'm not trying to be like a big jerk or like conceited, but I've got like $1,500 or $1,600 worth of graphics card in my computer and a really nice processor. Like, I mean, there's no way anybody's gaming computer is substantially better than the one I have, if at all. You'd basically have to have a 3090 overclocked through the roof, or a 6900 XT overclocked through the roof, in order to have it be any better than what I have here. So, unlikely. I don't know. Don't know what the performance is like. I don't even think a 3090 really even does much overclocking, if I remember right. Overclocking is like almost not a thing anymore. Yeah, so it wasn't on my machine. Game felt smooth while I was playing it. That was even over a stream. I'm kind of surprised it felt smooth playing over a stream, but it did. So hopefully that's a good sign. Did you get a chance to use Kivlev's artillery? I actually didn't mess with their artillery because it was so much close quarters fighting, so I really don't know if their artillery is good or not. Most artillery in this game is pretty decent, so, I mean, I think that we would have fair reason to believe that... freaking Caviolos. I hate the Caviolos. It's gonna actually really hurt me bad right here. This is a behavior for the AI that I really wish they would change. Not so much because they really need to, but because I hate this with a fiery passion. Like, I hate the cavalry YOLOs from the AI. I feel like I can't just have an infantry clash ever because the AI just freaking YOLOs every mobile unit they have immediately into your front line.
Supreme sorceress. No death.
Hopefully we'll berserk this Grail Guardian.
Dark sorceress.
Attacking!
Yeah, there we go. We got an immediate Cav YOLO. Here comes another one right behind it. Yep, we did berserk the Grail Guardian, so they're gonna die. I need to win convincingly here.
Shades! Attack!
Send the Witch Elves out here. Grail Knights.
Yes. Slaughter. Sorceress. Skilled murderesses.
Berserk those Knights of the Realm. Let's get up here and try and get this Paladin. Well, the AI rushed forward with all these units. There's a bunch of cavalry headed up, but I'm going to try and kill absolutely every bit as much of this stuff that they just YOLO'd into me as possible. How did they stop berserking while still fighting Witch Elves? Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't think so.
Claiming their soul.
Master Druki!
Nagarothi.
By your command. At once.
Stop firing, cleared that out. Darn it, I got my mammoth running berserk now.
Limitless
Let's head over here.
Shades! Terror
My
again.
shades up, I'm gonna pull this stuff closer to the middle. Got a couple more Medusa over here.
Battle
This
ready!
Beastmaster over here.
Whatever it takes.
named. I never fail. Do my bidding.
Alright, I've got another Charybdis headed over. The Witch Elves will need them.
Dealers in death.
Start trying to sling some bolts into this cavalry. Stop that Knights of the Realm.
Death! The merciless host.
Start raining some death in here. What did I let get away from me over here? Sister of Slaughter.
Enchantress. Calling the winds. Hatred burn.
Shades!
Can you all hit that Paladin for me, please?
Traveling. Wickedly.
Trying to beat up
brave.
Regina, and this is
Reveling in
pissing me off. Melt him.
Master Druki!
Okay, we routed him right there.
Shades!
Shades,
Slay them!
pick off more cavalry, please.
Nagarathi! Hydra Kira!
Get our witch elves up here. Try and berserk some of this cavalry. My mammoth is in pretty rough shape.
By Cain!
Despoil!
Got another paladin in my face over here.
Now, sorceries!
Now mercy!
How are these just few cavalry units, like, not completely wrecked?
Supreme sorceress!
Get those Grail Guardians, please. Get on these Knights of the Realm. Some extra damage there.
Bringers of death! Slaughter!
Forward!
Cocaine!
I'm gonna try and pull my shades back a little.
Waits.
My leadership is still very much alive. Spirit Leech those knights. Witch elves back here. Let's back up so that I can contend with these peasant archers. Alright, what all we got left over here? Alright, we routed this paladin.
Shades!
Put some shots on him while he's running away, please.
If you wish.
Shades! To
Shade unit
destruction!
over here.
Supreme
I know I'm blobbed a little bit, but it should be okay. Let me try and take... Still got both my Charybdis. My Mammoth is beat up, but alive. I think we're gonna fight our way out of this. Yeah, enemy army starting the chain route. Excellent, there we go. So we mostly just had to deal with all the cavalry and heroes. Once we got through it, it was peasants running away, which, big surprise, right? Cavalry, heroes, and then peasants run away. Sounds about right for Bretonnia. Alright, let's talk Warhammer 3 some more. What's going on, Broken Sky? Welcome. Yeah, let's talk Warhammer 3 some more. Hit me up with some more questions here. Good guy, thanks for joining us. See you later. I'm going to watch a Warhammer 3 video. Yeah, go check them out. There's a bunch. There's a ton of others out there. Go check them out. A lot of good watching. Patrick Mulligan, do the Keeper of Secrets have nipples, and if so, how many? Straight to the important questions for you, huh? I don't know. Yeah, I wish I could tell you. It's obviously the question of the century, but I do not know. Kick a strike. Which Chaos faction do you want to do a series on? Honestly, I want to play every faction in Warhammer 3. I've played pretty much every faction, not necessarily all of them on screen in Warhammer 2, and I want to play all the factions in Warhammer 3. Any visual upgrades that stood out to you? I mean, lighting seemed a lot better to me, and then the texture and details on the units seemed a lot better to me, so I think whether they are, I don't really know, but they certainly seemed better to me. Oh, we got Skaven Plague over here.
We will make them bleed.
New campaign mechanics you hope get put in. Honestly, I hope that they do something with siege battles that's kind of similar to the survival battles, like being able to use supplies to build in barricades or call in additional reinforcements. I think that kind of thing would be really cool on both sides of the siege. Be kind of neat, like being able to build up supplies in a settlement if you want. And then as the sieging army, you know, the longer you siege, you can build up some supplies and get help. I don't know. I don't know exactly how you implement it, how to make it like perfect or something like that, right? I don't know how to get into all the details of that, but I'm saying I think it would be neat. I think it'd be really neat, and I think you could do it, and I think that you'd have a lot of fun with it. So I would like to see something like that. I think what I played with the Like what I played in the demo battle was very fun. It was very fun. It was really neat. It was like a sandbox of tools that you had, and you could play that however you wanted. Imagine how if they had something similar, for instance, like let's say that, for instance, they have something similar for every faction in Siege, except it's kind of unique. So like, as like Bretonnia, you want to use cavalry, so their settlements have big open areas to charge, and they have, you know, good places for you to get good charges and then retreat your cavalry, while maybe the peasant archers have murder holes to shoot into and stuff like that. You know, there'd be a lot of really fun stuff you could do if you customized the siege battles, tailored it to where the settlement does, you know, it benefits the faction who owns it. And then, you know, the cool abilities that we saw with like the supplies and the upgrades, that's all very neat. I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know how exactly you play it all in, but I'd like to see some creativity come to the siege battles similar to the creativity that was put into this survival battle that I played. So, anyway, there we go. That's my thoughts on it. Let me see if I can get some more questions from you all on this. Imagine if you get blacksmith shot. Let's see. Make it Total War tower defense like thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like the creativity. Try something. I mean, look what we got with Shogun 2. Like, I mean, the Avatar Conquest mode, it was very new. It was very different. It was also very fun. Was it perfect? Nope. But we all loved it, right? And it was something new to try and to get and float some ideas around. So I think that I don't have any doubt that CA is going to make the base game very good. So take some risk with some of that other stuff, right? We know the base game is going to be great. Take some risk. Put some new features in there. Try it out. Just my 2 cents. Appia says, I just finished editing a video about Warhammer 3. Gotta say, the game looks very clean and crisp. It does. It looks great. Like, when I was zooming up on units and stuff. Like, the units in this game look good, too. But they were even better looking. Even better looking, for sure. Textures and details. It looked good. Fix the sieges, too bland. Yeah, that's why I was really excited playing the survival battle, because it wasn't bland. It was fun. And it was kind of a siege battle, right? The survival battle was very much like a siege battle. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. Not just because it was a new game. So, I very much would love for them to put new stuff like that into it.
Following orders.
I think we've got this defense
Cold-blooded killers. Understood.
over here, because they're putting some ladders up.
Dark
Right, now all we need to do is bring our dark shards down a little and lure in their archers closer. Wow, look at that. Harpy's clutching it for me. There we go. I think we've got this one basically wrapped up.
Battle calls. Battle calls. By your command.
Let's see, do you think flying units will have a fly or land option? There was no flying units for me to use as Kislev. I don't know. I used to kind of think that a fly or land option might be good, but I'm not so sold on it anymore. I kind of feel like that flying units are a risk because they can't be on the ground. Giving them a way to hide on the ground, like, I'm not sure that's what you'd want to do with them.
Without question.
However, I do hate sometimes, like, how easy it is for flying units to pull out of fights in multiplayer. I don't know that it ever really so much bothers me in campaign. In multiplayer, flying units get a little annoying at how easily they can extricate themselves. Do I want them to change it? I don't know. Sometimes you change things and you don't like it once you changed it, so I have no idea. I'd have to think about that one. I don't really have big issues with flying units at the moment. Oh, it bounced off the walls. Check that out. I thought it was going to go up in there. It bounced off the walls. Whoops. You think they'll put Vortex, Lustria in the new Mortal Empires, or small Lustria? I don't know. That's a good question. I know it's taxing on the system, and it takes a lot of resources, but they've added a ton of units to the map on Mortal Empires. Like, they've added new campaign regions as we've gone along with Mortal Empires, and I would like to see them expand the map, obviously, even more, because we're going into a new game. It gives them an opportunity to work out new and creative solutions on how to do that, and I very much want to see them make the map as expansive as possible. So do I think they will? I think they will. I think that they will try to expand that map as much as it is possible. They've been kind of doing that as it is, and I think they'll probably continue to do that. I don't know, but I think they will. It's a good question. Yeah, I would want to have all of Lustria, all of the, whatever you call it, the Southland. What was the name of that other continent? You're having a lot of allergies too, Appius? Man, I've got it under control good today, but holy crap if I had some allergies this year. Shadowfox says, the cities look so good, I wish they would elaborate on them more. Like you were saying, make them fit their factions. Areas for cavalry charges, graves for vamps. Yeah, exactly. The background and all the settlements in Warhammer 2 look beautiful. You have like these big, awesome backgrounds. You just can't do anything with it, right? So, I mean, that's one of the things I liked about this survival battle is that it was kind of like a siege map, was it not? Right? There was choke points. There was more open areas. It was still a very large map. It was kind of like a siege map. And it was kind of like a siege battle. I was fighting it in phases to capture my and it was fun. It was replayable. Like, I enjoyed it, you know, versus Siege in these games. You know what I mean? So I hope they can do it. I don't know that any of those features that I played in the survival battle ends up into the game. All I'm saying is that it would be neat if they could somehow pull it off. And I think it would be fun. Whew. Regina got trashed. Freaking Skaven Plague too, so she's gonna take even more losses. I'm gonna move over here to Grunberg. Hopefully we can get Reggie's army all back up into play, because there's a dwarf army marauding around down here. Let's see if we're ready to take this siege on. Let's see, what kind of, do we have any decent infantry? Yeah, we do. We got some blackguards as reinforcements, so we should be able to overwhelm the walls. It'll be tough though. That rocket battery, the Sutsun's mortars, and these other mortars are going to be a big problem. We're gonna need our flyers to get in and shut those things down.
Flesh from bone. Time for a mauling.
Here, do you think the Order Tide would happen, or the Disorder would overtake them? That is a good question. Sometimes the Order Tide in this game feels very OP. But, I mean, like, look at this campaign. I mean, I guess because I put the Empire in check, and then, for whatever reason, Nagaron just took a dog dump all over Ulthuan. So, I mean, it's totally chaos or disorder tide, whatever you want to call it, in my campaign on this one. But most campaigns, it does feel like the Order Tide takes over. Is that because I'm constantly playing quote-unquote Order Tide factions? I don't know. It's a good question. Our reinforcements are coming in from directly behind us. Start the deployment.
Lord.
All I know is Warhammer 2, in my opinion, is easily the best Total War game there is right now. As a general rule. There are things about Three Kingdoms and Troy that are better than Warhammer 2, but they're not enough by a long shot in my mind to put them as a whole ahead of this game. So I don't want it to seem like I'm not saying anything good about those newer games, because there are good things. There are definitely good things about those newer games. Things that get me excited for the future of Total War. But I still think Warhammer 2, far and away, the best Total War game, and so I'm extremely excited for Warhammer 3 because I have a hard time thinking there's any possible way that Warhammer 3 is worse than Warhammer 2, right? Like, you would have to try pretty hard as Creative Assembly to make it worse than Warhammer 2. So I'm excited because Warhammer 2 is still a great game. Years after launch, it is still really fun. It's just, I've played it a lot and I want something new, right? So, yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I have got to get rid of this artillery back here, or else it is going to just savage the troops that get out of the towers on the wall. So, as much as I want to sit here and breath attack all these guys, I'm going to just kind of bypass them and fly over to the artillery. %82 damage? Holy crap. It's going to die. Yikes. Do I need to abandon it?
Indeed.
Merciless warriors.
Yeah. I do need to abandon it.
Guards, on to violence.
Yowzer, I've never had a siege tower get destroyed. If I have had a siege tower get destroyed, I can't hardly think of a time where it's happened more than once.
Merciless.
I gotta get in here and crush that artillery or it is gonna be absolutely devastating. Oh, my sisters of slaughter just got slaughtered. Rest in pieces, sisters. Rest in pieces. To go get through the gates. Alright, well, I've got some troops on the walls that should slow down the handgun insanity that's taking place. I get some breath attacks here. I'm gonna send the Manticore after Balthasar to try and keep him off us. I'm gonna leave my wizard up in the air and I'm gonna kill these artillery pieces. It's gonna be a pretty risky gambit here. Pretty risky gambit. What happened to my... I told the Manticore to attack Balthasar. Just a misclicked. Alright, hopefully that'll help us get rid of all the artillery quickly. Attack them. Get them, gents. Ladies and gents. Alright. Good play again. A lot of enemies down here, so I really want to get the artillery and try to get back up in the air. Not gonna be easy.
My cruelty.
I have Assault of Stone, but I don't know if I can get that unit up here close enough to use it. My Manticore got stuck on the ground. That's not really what I wanted. I've got Sandy Ravage. Let's go after Balthasar. Oh my gosh, I'm getting handgunned.
Destruction awaits. Follow the
Out of there.
winds.
And Steve Irwin is savaged up pretty bad in this fight. He's gonna need some help. I wonder if I can get my dragons up in the air. at the gates. Let's go ahead and bring reinforcements up. Okay. Trying to get through the gates. My fighters are doing just fine up there. It'll take a while. Now I've got the problem of trying to extricate my strike force from back here. Steve Irwin is in a bit of a tough position. If I can get some dragon breaths down here to help him, though, that would be huge. Try and get this dragon up into the air. Alright, I've got Balthasar in melee over here. That should be good for me. Did you actually... They canceled their breath attacks again. Come on! I've got to go save my lord, and they cancel my breath attacks. That is so frustrating. I needed those really bad. My mage is getting shot by handguns. Got a dragon stuck up in battle here again. Gosh dang it, freaking handguns. Not to kill Balthasar, so that will be helpful. Well, I've got more flyers over here. I gotta get them over here to help. Get these. I need help over here bad. Let's get over here. I'm gonna use Block of Doom again. Should really help clear that up, and I mean I'm getting savaged. I'm gonna have to get out of here with this sorceress. Take her over here to a safe spot. She did a great job supporting that fight. Like, I mean, caused a ton of damage. A breath attack up in here. Yelt is almost dead. Right. Yeah, we got a nice breath attack there. There's a handgun unit trying to get away over here. I'm gonna go attack it.
Warrior! See it through!
Really need to get out of this melee, but I just don't have a lot of ways to do it other than to win at the moment. And we are getting a few terror routes.
Beastmaster!
Just more and more reinforcements coming up. So shredding our way through these forces at the walls would also be quite good. Take a look at what's going on. Okay, my Charybdis have gotten into here. I might just try and do some pull-through cheese. And let's get more units inside the walls. Actually, let's not try the pull-through because we're going to take a ton of damage. Keep my reinforcing infantry in here as well. Get in the gates. Get up here. Oh, guys get shot by a stupid tower. What a screw up. Give that a time. Let's use that real quick. Let's see. Let's get up here. Got an assault to stone. It's actually ideal for these circumstances. Doombolt. Get out of range of that tower. Alright, that got some damage done. I can get a piercing bolts. Want to get an overcast piercing bolt, but I don't have enough magic yet. Let's see how my single entity spam is doing. They are absolutely swamped in units right now. and starting to falter. Not good. We're just buried in reinforcements back here, including Zentler's Reichsguard. I don't know if there's a lot of way for us to get out of here because we got cavalry nipping at our heels. It's just an ugly situation. We just need to chain route the enemy as quick as we can. We're close to it because of all the damage we just did in here. In fact, just ignore all this stuff and get over here. Just leave those guys there. They're pointless. Anybody who can make it out of there, get out of there. Slaaneash's Harvester. Let's just start running units in here as reinforcements. Get up here. Go. Need help. But getting shot. Like, no, get out of the way over here. We're about to chain route the whole garrison. I hope. Like, it's close, but I can't guarantee it. Let's get on this handgunner over here. I don't know if I can plow through this cavalry, though. No, I can't. Crap. Guns are shooting me. Maybe I can get Steve Irwin over there, because he's kind of free. Come on. Get out of there. Get over there. Get him. How did we get stuck on these units? Like, I don't feel like all these single entities should be stuck on these units. Come on, get over here. Get. Move it. Okay. Honestly, the AI should have chain routed already, in my opinion, but does my opinion matter? There they go. Thank goodness. I think it's gonna be just in time to save my Sandy Ravage character. He was almost dead. Like another 10 seconds and he's probably toast. Whew. That was close. Appy says, hey Air, I'm referencing you in my next video. I think your coverage of survival battle was the best we've seen because you don't speculate wildly and make it clear when you don't know. Well, I'm glad you appreciate that. I try and keep it sensible. First of all, there's a few things that I try and keep in mind when I'm making a video like these, which is, number one, I am not like the most detailed, in-depth Warhammer person out there, right? I don't know this game as deep as some people. I'm not as good at looking for that kind of stuff as some people, so I don't try and make a video that's like, and this is gonna sound mean, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody else. I don't hate this content. I think it's fine to make this content. I'm just saying I don't go out there to make a 10 things we know about Warhammer 2, or 3 things you'll find new, or the hidden trick that you know. I can't make those videos. I'm not any good at making those kind of videos, and I don't particularly enjoy it. What I do enjoy is just playing the games. And to me, the biggest thing that's important in these games is, are they fun? Did I have a good time playing it? It's always easy to have a good time playing something the first time. And so, could I be wrong whenever I think that Warhammer 3 is going to be really good? Sure. Yep, I could be. So I wish I knew for sure, but I mean, it seemed very good. I had a lot of fun playing it. If I had the choice right now between playing that battle again and playing what I'm right now, I'd want to play that battle again. Like, I don't think I would want to play that same battle over and over again for months on end, but I would certainly want to be playing it again right now. And I don't care to play any of these siege battles in Warhammer 2 again, honestly. Like, they're not awful, but I mean, it's just not very exciting. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, make of it what you will. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be an excellent game. I think CA has put a lot of work into it. That seems evident by the fact that we saw all the new features in the survival battle. Clearly, they are trying hard to pour something new, fresh, and exciting, and to make this an epic end. Appius says, I wish I could get the views without making those videos. Well, I don't get near as many views as I used to, Appius. That's probably just a result of me being on YouTube for 12 years. People get bored and they want to go watch someone else. But I'm also, I've kind of gotten to the point recently too where it's like, I don't really care. Like, you know, I used to work really hard to try and get more views on my videos all the time. And you should work hard to get views on your video, especially if you're trying to grow a channel. You have to. At this point, it's like, I'm here. People know me. I'm playing the game. Because that's how I have fun. And that's what my content's going to be, is me playing the game. And having fun with you all. So, that's it. That's simple. That's what you get when you come to my channel. Air playing the games. And trying to interact with you all.
Reign secure.
So, yeah. What did you think of the music in the demo? I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the music, but the sound and the visual ambiance, to me, felt really nice. But if I'm being honest, I didn't pay a whole lot of time or attention to the music. So I'm sorry I can't give you any more thoughts than that. I would just be making it up, because I just didn't. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a great answer to that one. Sorry, painfully average gamer dad.
To the victors, spoils of flesh.
So yeah, I really liked the kind of metal music that they used in the announced trailer. Not because I'm like into metal music, because I'm not by any means. In fact, I really don't like metal music. But I felt like that in the announced trailer and stuff, it fit the genre really good, like for the game, and I liked it because it felt like it was improving that experience. So I'd be curious to see what they do with the music in the game. I've always really liked the music in Warhammer 2, so hopefully it improves upon that.
The strong shall always.
Do you think there's any
dominate.
chance they do a Warhammer 40k game after Warhammer 3? That is a good question, AJ. I think that Games Workshop is probably very happy with what Total War has done with Warhammer in this game. I can't imagine that they're anything but happy with it. I mean, they're going to bring Kislev back into tabletop and Grand Cathay and all that other stuff. So clearly, Games Workshop is happy enough with what Creative Assembly is doing that they're making new content as far as miniatures and lore and everything go, because they're going along with it. I mean, look at it. Total War Warhammer got me into miniatures. I now have an army of miniatures on my table over here that I'm working on. So, I mean, Games Workshop, if anything, should be very, very happy with what Creative Assembly has done. So, if Creative Assembly wanted to make a Warhammer 40k game, I'm pretty sure that Games Workshop would be like, please. Now, that said, I don't know that Warhammer 40k fits a Total War style of game very well. But Creative Assembly is perfectly capable of making a really good real-time strategy game. Take a look at Halo Wars 2. It was an excellent real-time strategy game. Looked good, was fun, good gameplay, like fun units, and it really built a nice thing that, and a lot of the lore and units and stuff that were in Halo Wars 2 are going to actually be in Halo Infinite. Like, so again, Creative Assembly did a good enough job that you've got 343 who's going to carry some of that into their next major title. And so I totally think that Creative Assembly could make an excellent 40k game, whether it's space-based or whether it's ground combat-based. I just think it would need to be a traditional RTS game rather than a Total War style RTS game, because I have a hard time imagining 40k fitting this genre. I'm not crazy familiar with 40k, but it just doesn't seem like it fits this as much as like the classic Total War. I mean, do they fight that way in 40k lore? Do they line up across from each other and just start shooting and meleeing? Or, I mean, if so, maybe it could work. But if I understood it right, wasn't it maybe like a little bit smaller scale type stuff? Like in terms of numbers? Again, I don't know. I don't watch these things, so I could be way off. If I am, correct me, please. Open to it.
Sorceress of the Dark Convent.
So, were the other towers besides the magic one in the Kislev Khorne battle any good? Yes, they were. you basically had a standard arrow tower that did damage, like less damage than the magic tower, right? So you had the magic tower, which was higher damage, good fire rates, better splash damage, and then you had the regular arrow tower, which was lower damage, but it costs less, right? So there's a big cost difference. And there was 2 flavors of each tower, both with the arrow and the magic. You had one that did armor sundering, and you had one that did speed slow. So basically the magic towers cost more, did more damage, but they offered the same. So I mean, they were both useful depending on the amount of supplies you were willing to spend, essentially, right?
Nature's
So
torment.
I chose the magic towers because I found them to be very powerful. And they were worth the investment because the Chaos troops didn't try to kill them. It's basically like me getting free damage. Now, could they change that? Troops may start trying to kill them. Again, don't know. But, anyway, I thought both towers definitely had a use.
Healed beasts of
John Wallace says that, yeah, I checked out the wound mechanic. Only gives a 20% weapon strength debuff at 50% health. It won't do much. You need to slow down how fast heroes level up. No, I don't really have a problem with how fast heroes level up, honestly. I was thinking you might say they need to do slow down in like the single entities more, but then they get tired too. What do you all think? I don't really personally want to see him slow down Lord progression, but what do you think? More people that agree with John? I'm not the be all end all of this, so be curious to see what you all think. Jack Shadow says, sorry I'm late. Was tutoring. That's awesome. Says probably already said, but did you play Warhammer 3? Yep, I got a video up on my channel, Jack. Go check it out. I've got a video on my channel playing it. How's it going, Rasta? Thanks for joining tonight. Keelan says, hey, Air, how was the optimization for Game 3? Was it as good as Troy? Don't know, because it wasn't running on my computer. I didn't get to see any FPS counters. Don't know what settings it was on. So yeah, I wish I knew. Sorry, Keelan, I just don't. Thankfully, Average Gamer Dad says, I preloaded this Mass Effect this afternoon at lunch. Can't wait to dive into the universe again. Yeah, I bet a lot of people are excited for that. Hope they buff melee and cav units as well. I feel like heavy infantry definitely needs to be more useful, and do they need to buff cavalry units? The only time I really don't feel great about cavalry units is when they're being used in melee against an AI that is above the normal difficulty. Like, I feel like the campaign difficulty makes cavalry useless. Like, it's not really as much a problem with the cavalry stats itself, but again, that's just me. Do you know much lore about the Warhammer Fantasy Universe? A little, bruh, Monuments. Just a little, not much. I know what I've learned from the game and little bits here and there outside, so I'm not well versed on it. But I know enough that I kind of have an idea what's going on, but not enough to like know a whole bunch of details about like specific battles and heroes and all that kind of stuff. Oh, John's saying, yeah, I meant on very hard battle difficulty. Yeah, that makes sense because they are useless on those.
We shall pounce.
They could also change the way the battle difficulty works, right? Rather than just giving the AI pointless buffs to make it harder, just make them more aggressive. Make them fight harder and recruit better and stuff like that. It could be interesting. And then have it be optional whether the player lets the AI get just like a bunch of cheat buffs, you know? I don't like it, honestly, when the AI just gets a bunch of cheat buffs. If you're doom stacking, you almost kind of need them to have it or else it'd be too easy, but yeah, I don't know. Google says cabin infantry only bad on the higher difficulty because of the cheats. Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes them worse. But I feel like if you look at multiplayer, for instance, the heavy infantry, it's a struggle to make it useful. It's not impossible. It can happen, but it's a struggle.
Bow before Rakar.
Does Barak Var have a port? It does. So I can pull Warner back in here whenever he is healed. He is still recuperating. 2 more turns before we can get Warner back. Warner, you're gonna come back. I hate the AI buffs. Yeah, so do I. Stefano says, how hard do you think it would be to play as Kislev against all that chaos? Hopefully difficult and fun.
Dominate.
Hopefully difficult in a good way. You know, kind of like how they changed the Chaos Invasion recently to where there's like way more stacks of them and you can change how much of you want. Like I hope that's what it feels like with Kislev, like that you're holding this thin icy line against an absolute freaking swarm of chaos. Like, I mean, I think it's gonna be fun if they get it that way. And then you have the survival battles, you know, and all this other stuff making it seem very challenging. I would like
Be
that.
slow descendant.
I would like that. A challenge that results in lots of big battles is the kind of challenge I like in my Total War game. I love lots of big battles in my Total War game. So, ranged is too effective against heavy infantry. I feel that it's their weakness. Well, it certainly should be their weakness. I mean, ranged units should be a weakness of heavy infantry, assuming that they're not just like heavily shielded or like walking around with some kind of physical or ward save or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it probably should be their weakness. Jack Shadows, thanks for the 10. He says, wanted to say thanks for all the good content over the years. Been subscribed since Rome 2 launch. Keep the salt flowing always. I will, Jack. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the 10. Fun thing that you mention it now, Jack, is I've been playing Rome Total War Remastered, and I know this is actually something I might talk about for a minute here, but I know a lot of people, like myself, are very much enjoying the Rome Total War Remaster. Like, I am having so much fun. Like, I am excited to record the Carthage campaign all the time. I've been recording it ahead, like releasing it every day. I love playing Rome Total War Remastered. I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, play it for like 900 hours or something like that. Probably not, but I am getting a great time just playing this game after so many years and like having me brought up to speed, Jack. So I'm really enjoying it. And you mentioned Rome 2 that you've been watching since then. So now what I really want to do is finish up in Rome 1. And now I really want to go play Rome 2 because I'll have a fresh perspective on, you know, how does Rome 2 compare to Rome 1? Was it a worthy successor now that Rome 2 has gotten all of its patches, all of its updates, all of its content, and then Rome 1 has been remastered? Like, how do the two stack up? Like, how do I feel about them now when I go play them, right? So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and getting to go kind of feel that out. So it makes me really want to go play a Rome 2 campaign. Not only would it be fun nostalgia, but it would be, I think it would serve a purpose. Being able to make a fun comparison, like, give me a chance to go straight from one to the other. So anyway, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Hopefully that adds some content to what you were talking about. He says, I'd be excited to see it, especially if you were excited to do it. I would be, obviously. Rome Total War Remastered was really good for me. I've been pretty down on historical Total War games because, for me, 3K just, it was a good game. Like, I don't really want to bash CA over it. It is. It's a good game. It looks pretty. They did a good job, but it just doesn't do it for me. Maybe for you, it's great. It's just not for me. It's just not great for me, and I want it to be great. Maybe I haven't put enough time into Three Kingdoms, right? Maybe it's my fault. Troy was good, but not great. So there's another one for me that just, like, I want to be more excited about historical games, and Rome Total War Remaster has me excited for historical games again. It's an old game. It has tons of flaws, bugs, bad AI, all the stuff, so I'm not looking at it purely with rose-colored glasses. It's a fun game for me because I enjoyed it back in the day a lot. And I enjoy it now a lot because it's better than it was back in the day because they've improved so many of the things that I hated back in the day. So it is a good game. Genuinely good game for me. Now, all that said, I really want historical Total War to be awesome again. I mean, is there anybody here who doesn't want historical Total War to be awesome? I would think that if you're a real fan of the Total War series, you do want it to be awesome. I do.
I'll ignore them.
I want it to be great.
I refuse.
And so playing
Submit to me.
Rome Total War and like being excited to go play it every day has me excited. I really want CA to win me over with another historical Total War again. I think that they unlocked the doors to a bunch of really good stuff in Three Kingdoms. The game kind of fell flat for me because the battles just weren't very exciting, but I think they opened the door to a lot of interesting stuff. Number one, the game is optimized, you know, a lot better than Warhammer in terms of the engine and the graphics and stuff. Two, the diplomacy is much better. It's easier to use and go look for agreements and stuff like that. Three, they added the timeline thing where you can start pre-romance or in the romance or maybe later than the romance. That by itself is a really cool feature. Like, think about a medieval game or Empire 2. You can start in, you know, in Empire 2 you can start in 1600, 1700, or 1800, and the map changes accordingly, and the factions that are changing. That's a really good thing. They did a lot of things that I think are very good, and they kind of open the door on some ideas that I think will make historical Total War games a lot better if they continue to play out on it. And then I think all that's really left for them to make an absolute just whale of a historical game is to implement some of the things from the fantasy games, not dragons and stuff, obviously, or magic spells, but implement some of the things from the fantasy games that make the fantasy games so great, which is faction diversity, faction mechanic diversity, a reason to bring me back and play each and every single faction. Not just because all of them have line infantry and one of them has Dutch rifles and the other one has French rifles, right? You got to do a little more than that to pull me back in and make me want to play those over and over and over again like I do in Warhammer. And I think they can do it, obviously short of having Napoleon flying around on a dragon, right? They don't need to do that. I'm just saying, like, they can do it, and I want to see more of that in historical games. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Three Kingdoms. That's why, even though it kind of falls flat for me as a game, I don't really like to rag on Three Kingdoms, because I think CA introduced a lot of potentially really good stuff in that game, and I'm glad they made it, because I hope that all this development is rolling them towards just a big hit, you know, like an awesome game. I hope that's what it's doing in the end. Roster diversity is a lot harder in history than fantasy. It is. But that's where, I'm not saying you fold up the history book and burn it. I'm just saying you push it aside sometimes. Get close. You know, just get close. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a game, right? I want my Total War game to be more of a game than a history class. And I want my history class to be a history class more than a game, right? So I'm not saying make it fantasy, but take some liberties and diversify things up. Diversify some things up. Make the factions feel different. Easy way. And they kind of did it in Napoleon, for instance, but maybe Russian units have more unit models in each one with slightly lower stats, but there's a lot more of them, but maybe they're really good at melee. Something to make Russia different, right? Cavalry units. You know, one faction maybe has a lot of really fast cavalry, another one has better heavy cavalry. Like, just do your best to keep the variety up there, right? And then give every faction an interesting campaign mechanic. And you could do that loosely based off of some historical stuff, right? Give every faction really interesting campaign mechanics, kind of similar to what you have at Warhammer 2 for all the different factions. How do you feel about Shogun 2? Shogun 2 is an excellent game, even over 10 years later. I need to finish my Atomo campaign. I am behind on it right now because I've just gotten so excited about other stuff. I'm not going to quit it. Not by any stretch. We're going to finish the Atomo campaign. I really like Shogun 2. It's a fun game. It stood up very well over the years. Piece of crap. Regina got sieged by the dwarves while she was trying to replenish. Dwarves are pissing me off. Come over here and get them. I still think Total War Renaissance is a good idea. It is an excellent idea. I would love to see a game that as you like go through the Renaissance and like try and take your faction ahead.
I tame the untamable, beast commander. Feed, minions! Kill them!
Alright, let's get some siege
Scatter!
towers going.
The end comes!
I mean, we just cannot seem to kill the Empire. I have beat and beat and beat the Empire in this game. They're still here. Still kicking. Annoyingly. No one wants to mess with me at Barak Vara. They're certainly not going to want to mess with me once Warner shows up. I mean, one more turn? I could have sworn it's been 2 turns. I want my Warner back. CA, give me back my Warner. Shogun didn't really have much diversity between the units, if memory serves correct. Don't see why 3K gets ragged on so much. Shogun 2 didn't have a lot of diversity between the units, and I would rag on it the same way that I'm ragging on 3K. However, what you did get at least was at least one very unique unit between the factions. But yeah, I mean, I would rag on Shogun 2 in a similar way that I would 3K, so I'm not exempting Shogun 2 from the same criticism that I would lob at 3K. Shogun 2 is more fun to me because I like the game setting of Shogun 2 better, and I just have more fun playing it. The battles in Shogun 2 are more fun for me than they are in 3K. There's more... I don't know why it is. They're just more fun for me. Like, you give me the option to play a Shogun 2 battle right now or a Three Kingdoms battle, and I'm going to pick Shogun 2 every time.
When we're ready.
And, I mean, the AI and stuff is better in Shogun 2. Or, sorry, in Three Kingdoms. Definitely. Like, no question. How did my guys get all sieged again over here at Lioness? That's so annoying. I have enough money. I'm just going to raise another army over here.
Come, see my cauldron.
Female Dreadlord, a High Beastmaster. I think we were doing mostly Beastmasters. Let's grab a Supreme Sorceress here. Shogun 2 didn't have Warhammer showing how unit diversity looks before it was released. That's also a fair point, Zaven. With Warhammer behind them, I guess I kind of expected more from 3K, but I'll go ahead and not directly bash it. I'll lobby the same criticism against Shogun 2. It did probably need more unit variety, but it didn't have it. But again, yeah, with 3K being released many years later, with the Warhammers as an example, then yeah, I probably would hold it to a slightly higher standard. But, just in the interest of being fair here, I mean, Shogun 2 didn't have it either. Not anywhere near the same extent. Find the map in Three Kingdoms be a pain to traverse. Been so long since I played it, I can't really say. Or I agree with that, and I just don't remember.
Master Druki.
I think a historical game based around either the Viking conquest or something with Africa would be awesome. It'd be neat to see some African tribes pulled in. I think it'd be neat to see the Africans pulled into a, early period Empire Total War, like a Renaissance thing, with the Zulu and others. I mean, that would be really neat. With the ability for the European nations to be sailing, to those others and vice versa, just for the sandbox sake. I think that could be a lot of fun. 3K is too slow moving your own province. It does take a long time to move armies around in Three Kingdoms, it seems like.
What do you seek?
I don't know. At least it does to me. Some units training. Love to see a historical title with the same scope as Empire, but been done better. Yeah, absolutely. Empire had a huge scope going all the way around the world, and I'd love to see it. Air, why don't you go all air ethereal? It's scaring me. Because of the shirt? Yeah, this is my fishing shirt. Pilgrim. I probably do look a little bit ethereal. Like, I'm mostly transparent colored as it is anyway because I'm indoors all the time. Yeah, I probably do look ethereal in this shirt tonight. Yeah, this is my fishing shirt. It's long sleeves so that I can go out and not get like all sunburned and stuff. Basically keeps me from having to put sunscreen over. Thanks, Pilgrim. I do look ethereal. We gotta play some more Vermintide sometime. Shadow Fox says the map can be a pain to traverse in 3K, but it's more toward them trying to be faithful to source material. Traversal issues always a drawback. I mean, China would have definitely had some areas that would have been difficult to traverse back then, especially in like jungle or very mountainous regions. Like, I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Anathema!
No doubt about that.
Chosen of Hecate.
Keep an eye on the time here. Yeah, no doubt. It would have been difficult to move big armies through China on certain terrain. Like any country. Some countries can have areas that are really difficult to move through. Say Salad says he remembers Troy. Again, Troy's a pretty fun game. People weren't really watching it on my channel, so I couldn't really dedicate a lot of time to it. I kind of do want to play it all the way through once. I haven't done it yet. But, yeah, that's most of the reason why you haven't seen it here. The annoying thing isn't the terrain, but the AI running circles with you chasing. Yeah, that is annoying. I will agree with that 100%. I get annoyed by how long it takes to move places, but like that Shadow R Fox said, hey, that could just be interpreted to follow. Hey, that's fair. I could see that, but yeah, the AI running circles to run away from you rather than fight, that does piss me off. That is bad. Whenever I'm playing a Total War game, I want to fight, and I want the AI to come fight me. Like, that just makes the game more fun. I will definitely concede that, you know, taking a long time to march somewhere could be seen as intentional design, but yeah, the AI running away from you all the time is just, oh my gosh, that's annoying. Troy is better than Thrones, that's for sure. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Troy is not a bad game. Well, Regina's dead. I couldn't get to reinforce her in time.
Before my might.
Dadgummit, you filthy Dawi. Dirty, stinking Dawi. Don't tell Regina I killed her, alright? Nobody mention it. Nobody mention it. Will this be a video after you end? Yeah, I always leave them up, Fonzie. It'll be a video afterwards on my channel you can go check out. Too late, I already told her. Thanks for ratting me out, Pilgrim.
Feel my power.
I didn't kill her during the the original one. Alright. We brought her back alive. The 2.0 version. Your thoughts on the gameplay reveal for Warhammer 3? Well, I have a video up where I played it. Heitschwar. I'm obviously very excited for it. Definitely go check out the video that I put up on my channel if you haven't already. But I think Warhammer 3 is looking great so far. We haven't seen everything. We haven't seen the campaign maps. There's a long ways to go. We don't know all the everything about all the factions or anything else like that. Long ways to go. But exciting, I think. As a general rule, I think it's exciting. And I am very optimistic, and always was optimistic, because Warhammer 2 was so good. But I am I'm very, very optimistic that Warhammer 3 is going to be great. I find it very hard to believe that CA could somehow ruin it at this point. Alright, so we can get shades, we can get decent infantry from here. Having access to some monsters would probably be the next best thing here, like harpy cages and then on up. Are you excited for a specific faction at all? Kislev for sure right now I'm the most excited for, just because they kind of have a play style that I think I like. But I would say Grand Cathay hopefully will be very interesting. It's going to be all new material basically for Games Workshop and Creative Assembly to build, and I'm very excited for it. I think it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, I would like to hope that we get something really good out of Grand Cathay. I would love to see Araby and Nippon end. I would love to see all those factions come into the game. Ogres, any faction they can think of, get it into the game.
Weakness cannot be tolerated.
All of them. But I think right now I would be most excited for Kislev at the moment. But that probably depends on what we see at a Grand Cathay. Air, what are you not excited about the Chaos factions? No, I am excited about them. I don't know. I guess I like playing as the Order factions more. Call them what you will. It's the Warhammer world. None of these factions are living some kind of like high principles or something. They all have they're all probably a little bit evil in the end, right? Based on standards that I would hold from real life. But I'm just saying, like, I like the idea of playing as a faction, trying to hold out against the wave of evil that is threatening to sweep over. That's just fun to me. More fun than being the wave of evil. Everybody likes different approaches to something, though, so They burned Nuln to the ground. These Tawi are gonna die.
Yes.
Ash Ketchum is gonna catch him and kill him.
Prowl further.
I'm gonna make another army here too. Create another lord here. Let's see, I got flame last time. We done shadows yet? I don't think we've done shadows yet.
Supreme sorceress of Graft.
Would you be up for a mashup between Crusader Kings and Total War, such as Diplomacy of Crusader Kings and the Battles of Total War? Man, that would be hard to mash up. But I certainly appreciate a lot of things about both games, Shadow R Fox. I mean, Crusader Kings is epically hilarious to play in terms of, like, character development. It is fun. Like, I haven't played it in a long time because it takes a lot of time to play, but I did play it quite a bit around the release. Both... I played some in videos, but I played quite a lot outside of the videos, and I need to play it again. It's just that, like, now I'm gonna have to go back and reteach myself a bunch of stuff on it again. Crusader Kings 3 is fun, stupid fun. Like, I don't know, like, it'd be neat. I don't know how you mash the two games together. I guess there's some part of me inside that wishes you could, hopes you could, but I don't know how you would do it.
This wretch does not
But I certainly like a lot of things about both of them. So I can see the desire. Have stuff mashed up between them.
Bring a stampede.
Someone managed to make it so the battles from Crusader Kings are played out in Mount and Blade. So it might be, now that would be cool. That would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know, like, what if it was a Crusader Kings screen? It either goes into, like, the Mount and Blade type battle, or, I don't know, in my opinion, better yet, like, it switches into, like, a Total War type battle. Now, that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick.
Show them nature's cruelty.
I would be down with that. Folks, I'm going to have to hop off here. I know I haven't been quite going for 2 hours, but I'm going to have to hop off. I need to spend some time with Mrs. Air and get some rest before work tomorrow. It was fun coming in here and discussing, kind of just casually playing some more of this campaign. There's a little bit of background. Had a good time. Got Reggie killed. Warner, but Warner, you're still alive, and Reggie came back to life. We may do this again sometime when we get more Warhammer 3 news. How about we do that? We'll save this. When we get more Warhammer 3 news or more Warhammer 2 news, we'll jump into here, play some more on this, discuss it. I had a good time with this. Hopefully you all had a good time with it too. So I thought it was enjoyable. I love seeing your questions. I also like hearing what you all think, because obviously I'm very single-minded in perspective because I went and played the game. All I have is my perspective, and now that you all have seen it, yeah, you haven't played it, but you've seen it, you've gotten to watch it, you've gotten to digest it. I really like to hear what more people think, because that usually helps develop a little better overall perspective on what a game's going to be like. But anyway, I will see you all later. Thank you for being here tonight, and I'll be back next week with more streams, and I'll be back with you some more videos tomorrow, so come drop by. See you then. HeirofCarthage.